So over the last 10 years, the type of relationship and partnership I've had with BongoHive has been quite multifaceted. I think one is where I've had such a great personal relationship with the founders, with management, because it's exciting to see what BongoHive does, in terms of building entrepreneurs, creating an incredible entrepreneurial ecosystem, which is one that I'm passionate about. So the nature of the relationship has really been on, masterminding, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, coming through as a speaker, coming through as a mentor, coming through as a facilitator of a given program. Let's say if people want to understand what governance is all about, or something along the lines of angel investing, I would come in and do things of that nature. I also came on as an advisory board member, which is a great honor and a privilege, right, to be brought on board in such a formal manner, to essentially provide some sort of oversight, some input to help the trajectory of the Thrive program, move in the right direction, right, alongside other great mentors and advisory board members. So partnerships are extremely important, within the context of our organization, and especially as it relates to entities like BongoHive, because it gives us visibility on the private sector in a certain respect. There's some things that I'm not able to see, especially early stage businesses. BongoHive has access to, let's say, a huge pool of young, incredible entrepreneurs, intelligent, innovative, who've got incredible ideas. And as a venture capital firm, we depend on the innovation, the capacity of entrepreneurs to essentially create businesses, to come to us at a certain stage so that we can essentially invest in those companies. So without BongoHive, we would not have this incredible pool of entrepreneurs having some sort of an environment in which they could be enriched. And the enrichment that BongoHive is providing to these companies enables somebody like myself in the venture capital space to have, I would say, part of my work done for me. It's like I don't have to go in and start picking companies from the ground up. They can already be fully seasoned and baked. And this is, it's an incubator, right? And that's what it's, and this is what makes BongoHive very important as part of the ecosystem where venture capital is present. So, in the past 10 years, what BongoHive has done is just beyond phenomenal. I mean, when I look at, its ethos, it's the manner in which the company sort of conducts itself, the nature of the team, young, vibrant, innovative, really responsive to change. You see how BongoHive operated during the COVID period, being able to continue its value proposition in a virtual manner. But even before that, you could see all the events. I mean, I was fortunate to be an attendee of all these events that BongoHive has put together, all these accelerator programs, the launch programs, and even the talks that enable entrepreneurs to sort of build up their business, going through ideation, various iterations, where there's advisory, sourcing of capital. I mean, you've got lots of success stories that have come out of BongoHive. So really, to sum it up, I think BongoHive has been very crucial. And I think when people look at Zambia 50 years from now, and they look at the history of how the private sector grew and the nature of entrepreneurship, how it grew, how young Zambian entrepreneurs, at a time in which more Zambians are becoming more and more interested in entrepreneurship, how their trajectory was guided, BongoHive would be mentioned, because ultimately there isn't anybody else that I know of who's really participating in this form of development from the ground up. And to me, it's absolutely essential. In the long run, I mean, I could see unicorns coming out of BongoHive within even less than 5 years. You can see what's happening in Nigeria and Kenya and so on. And this is a platform that's going to inspire others. I assume, or at least I believe, there'll be other BongoHives, but BongoHive obviously would have paved the way. And obviously I see this entity becoming something quite, very extraordinary in the next 10 years. And when we are, God willing, having this conversation about BongoHive's 20-year sort of history, we could say that, yeah, the 3 unicorns that came out of BongoHive were XYZ. They created X number of jobs, created X amount of wealth, and sort of defined the entrepreneurial landscape, where Zambia is now a competitive force, in line with Kenya, Nigeria, and even maybe one day Silicon Valley, So that's the type of impact I feel BongoHive has had. So in the next 10 years, I hope, I wish, but more importantly, I know and I expect BongoHive to continue to persist in its endeavor, to grow, to be forging new partnerships, to essentially maintain its level of innovation without resting on its laurels. It's already proven over the last 10 years that it's a company that is resilient, that can weather storms, one that could create value, real tangible value. You look at so many companies that have come through BongoHive, right? That I see today. Even when I see a young entrepreneur with an early stage of business and I see that everything is in place, I always have a sense in my back of my mind. I say, have you been through BongoHive? And typically it happens to be the case. What I do in some entrepreneurs who talk to me for mentorship or getting a business off the ground, I'll say, hey, listen, I think you need to go through BongoHive because I know what's going to happen through them. So when I think forward, I feel a lot of these entities will really culminate, will blossom into these incredible value-generating businesses within sectors that people hardly expect young people to be involved in or even expect out of Zambia. Particularly the fintech space, the innovative space. Even if it's a business model that is not necessarily technological, the principles of business that BongoHive essentially enables to be provided, or whatever is bequeathed onto the mindset or the capacity and competence of entrepreneurs will carry those companies through to success. So where I see BongoHive is really an entity managing, first of all, a crazy massive fund. And I also see BongoHive eventually being a competitor in the venture capital space, managing a whole lot of money, looking for businesses the way we look for businesses to invest in. I see that happening. I see a couple, I think in the next 10 years, I can see at least one unicorn coming out of BongoHive. I mean, that's a very bold statement, but it's something I hope to see and I want to see. And the more BongoHive continues to thrive over the next 10 years, the better it is even for people like myself who are continuing to look for entrepreneurs to invest in. And I see continued partnerships, synergies, co-investments, things of that nature. So, and I really believe that the best is yet to come. So really wishing the very best for BongoHive, and I hope and I pray and expect the team to really continue this amazing innovation. It's not just a business, right, that the team manages and runs. It is a public service, especially in a country like ours that has high levels of poverty, high levels of unemployment. This is an environment where people can come, plug in, learn, create value, and basically come out in a way that does address some of these societal issues. So it's a cause that I'm passionate about and happy to be associated with. And I always cheer on, this entity. So.